Dim flashes lit up the nearby horizon. The darkness formed swiftly into shadows shaped like trees, illuminated in a thick golden light for a few stark moments, before flickering away, back into the ambiguous mass of forms which made up the distance. Thoughts of warmth washed over the thing's metal mind. He hovered nearby, mulling his desire to creep closer. He was desperate, but a rusty fear kept him frozen in place. His brittle fingers crept over one another. A faint cry accompanied the next batch of light. It might have been a sob, the creature thought, as he had difficulty differentiating the two. But regardless, it carried a faint magnetism which sent him whispering forwards, towards the dying glow with a cloak of rags drawn about him. He moved with the breeze, carried on all fours and accompanied by a quiet which was broken only by a faint hiss that whistled from his ancient joints and muscles. The figure in the clearing knew that something approached. A bristle unmistakably flicked at her awareness, just as her lamp again was failing. Pitiful tears began to fall against her haggard face as she desperately clanked the thing against the earth. It blinked out entirely, replaced with a different and distinctly colder light. She turned to see two little moons staring out from the tree line. They cast a dim and quivering aura about them, but radiated no warmth. Slowly, a stiff shadow emerged behind them, bringing the eyes upwards to sit at a terrifying height. They shifted to ellipses as they glared down at her. She stiffened and backed away, reeling from the failing form of her dead lamp. The figure gently ushered towards her. It carried the shape of a thin man cloaked in rags, but moved with a queer grace that slithered through its body, providing an uncanny sense of fluidity to its every act. Delicate fingers reached about the discarded lamp and drew the little thing up to its face, so it glowed gently in the pale light from the creature's eyes. Its focus had left her, and the thought of fleeing crossed her mind. The light reflected from the lantern's plastic cover and filtered over the creature's face. Its features were soft, indistinct, a careless attempt to mimic a casual expression. It appeared rather as far away, a striking clash with the creature's intense beaming eyes. She shifted towards the thing. The lamp was twirled and spindled at a frightening pace as the figure tapped and shook, pausing intermittently before continuing the strange examination. The wind had picked up, and the woman pulled her coat about her. She started as the creature prized the panel from the lantern's base and tore the contents from within. Pain flashed about her at the sight of her lantern's entrails dangling from its corpse. Protest caught in her throat as she was startled to see the creature begin to rummage amongst its metal ribs. Two of its claw-like fingers seized at something out of sight, and strained for a few aching moments before a twang released them. They returned slowly, an indeterminable widget held tight in their grasp. For a second the creature held the gizmo to its lamps, before fixing it to the lantern's base and forcing the rest of its wiry guts inside. Bright golden light flooded the misty clearing. For a moment, both figures were statues, bathing in the illumination. The woman smiled as though the lantern burned and with a biting flame. The creature rocked forwards and delicately laid the lamp in front of her. It nudged it forwards, then left quickly, swallowed by the tree line where the lantern's glow failed to reach, its eyes invisible whilst turned towards the darkness. The woman lingered only a little longer. She scooped the gift and hugged it to her chest. Buoyed by the glow's return, she thrust the lantern out and strode determined onwards, leaving the lonely clearing to its familiar dark and quiet.